Welcome to episode 3 of Cannabis with Rayne, me. Today we have a very special guest, Curtis Taylor, also known as Curt the cannabis photographer. But before we get started, I wanted to talk to you guys about the reviews because we have some. Hello. I first and foremost want to talk about my birthday. So my birthday was Tuesday, March 19th. And I had an edible coma. Okay, so background. Edibles have never really worked for me. Even took a vacation in Colorado, ate a bunch of edibles, can't tell you who they were, not going to try. And I didn't really feel much. And I think the problem is a lot of people try to say, or you like have, I always had that pre-thought of like edibles and pot brownies, they're supposed to make you like all weirdo, like the cop on the phone that calls and he's like, time is slowing, so slow, going slow. And so I always thought that's how they're supposed to feel. First and foremost, I feel like my biggest thing to learn in the cannabis space at this point is, or the cannabis plant, is that not everybody's experience is the same. Nobody's body's the same, nobody's endocannabinoid system's the same, and nobody's experience is the same. So when I took my edibles, you'll see the picture. And you saw it on my Instagram. I am a brand ambassador for Mr. Max. So I told you guys I'd be honest about that. I am one because I love their products. From the THC lotion to the edibles. And we'll talk about them. So the best ones, in my opinion, are the caramels. So the caramel candies, they were 175 milligram, and I tried them on their own before my birthday, and very relaxing feeling. They taste great. I don't get a weed taste. They're soft, chewy, tasted amazing. The Star edibles, they have a bounce back. They're sugary. You can get a little bit of a weed taste at the end on some of the colors, but they taste good. I mean, I didn't have any issue with them. They're 100 milligrams per package. And then I had the Rice Krispie treat, or the Fruity Pebble treat, which was 50 milligrams and tasted great. Had a little bit of a Canna taste, but like I said, didn't have any issue getting it down. I'm not a big fan of cannabis taste on edibles. I will spit out an edible. So, yeah. The ones I wasn't the biggest fan on the hard candies. They were 100 milligrams for the package, and the taste at the beginning is really great, and then once you get to the end, it kind of really tastes like a cough drop. So I wasn't a fan of them, but I'm not a big fan of hard candies anyway. Altogether, I think I ingested like 200 milligrams. And it was like I took some NyQuil. I couldn't keep one eye. Oh, like one eye was like this, and I was trying to watch Peaky Blinders because I'm obsessed with that show now. But yeah, so thumbs up, Mr. Max. Doing some great stuff over there with your edibles. Had a great birthday. Was still feeling pretty when I woke up the next morning. But follow Mr. Max here. They actually have a new sucker brand. It's here. So both of them, go follow them. I haven't tried the suckers. I'm being completely honest, but I'll ask because I want to try some right now, actually. So, okay. So the next review is of Craft Cannabis. They are in Edmond. It's a dispensary in Edmond, so not the grower Craft Cannabis, who is awesome as well, but okay Craft Cannabis in Edmond. Amazing guys. They were super nice, from Colorado, and they will answer any questions you have. I went and I got a gram of the sherbet and a gram of the do-si-do. As you can see in the pictures, they are beautiful. They smoke well. They taste well. I am high tolerance, so didn't really feel too much on the do-si-do. The sherbet gave me a very good relaxing body relaxing feeling, but I will tell you they have nothing but beautiful buds there. They smell great, they taste great, they burn white ash. So give them a look. I know that their prices are kind of high right now. They do have specials for birthday, special for first time customers, special for they have like a whole list of specials, so check those out. But they also let me know that their prices are going to start going down once they do their harvest, their bigger harvest, because they do grow their own. So there's plus, plus, plus. But you'll see those here, and then this is their Instagram handle here. Give them a follow. Tell them Rayne sent ya. You know. Okay. The next review, or the next product I want to talk about. Sorry, I'm messing with my hair, guys. I need to get a haircut, so shout out to anybody who would like to cut my hair because I need help. As you can see, it needs help. That's why it's mostly always in a bun. Okay. Okay. My next one is, I'm gonna say, one of my favorite companies right now. Sorry. But Cartel. Okay. So we talked about the pins, and they're amazing. The pins are amazing, and if you haven't gotten one, you need to get them. Our cartridges, my bad. But they just so they just came out with their diamonds, and I got to try them in dough for my birthday. And I'm gonna go ahead and say whatever's left in here, as you can see them. I know it's a black container, so it's hard. And whew, the smell. Okay, let's see if I can get a light. All right, I have a better picture of it. My freaking thing on my microphone doesn't want to stay on it. Sorry, guys. Okay. I'm going to tell you that the cleanest tasting diamonds I've ever had. Throwing that out there. They are beautiful. They smell beautiful. They taste beautiful. You don't get that huge burn in the middle of your chest where it feels like they left a lot of this stuff in it or put some stuff in it. So great. Body high, body high, very relaxing. A lot of stuff I try is going to be body high because I'm an indica person, but I will be trying some sativa. I did the Cartel cart, the headbanger. Whew. I want to say headband because I'm an indica person, but headbanger, and tastes great. That's what I used on my dab cap. Show you that video right now. Hey everybody! I got my dab cap and I'm so excited. So, got it on my Cartel pin, ready to go. And that is the headbanger from Cartel. So if you haven't checked out Cartel, they're available in lots of different dispensaries. I think 46 Relief has them, Electra Leaf has them. There's a lot. So check them out. Wherever you go, tell them Rayne sent you. Okay. Last but not least, I definitely want to shout out Canna Cream. Okay. Handle. They make cannabis ice cream. And when I say make, I mean they make flavor after flavor after flavor after flavor after flavor. And there is chocolate, there is strawberry, there's banana strawberry, there's vanilla, and then there's cinnamon twist. And I'm going to tell you that before I started this, I already tried the cinnamon twist, so I've ruined that for that. But it is the best. So I'm going to retry it for this and still tell you that it's the second time I've tried it because it didn't even make it to the video that I posted when I got it, or it didn't make it. If you do like my review on them, let them know I sent you. Give them a follow. Check them out at Elite. Elite has them, and a couple other places. So I'll be sure hit me up if you really want to check them out and find them, because I will get you connected to get them at a dispensary. So let me get a spoon and we'll try the other flavors. Okay, I'm back with my big ass spoon. Okay, so let's start with chocolate. You guys get to see me open things. Everything's childproof for me. Okay, chocolate. Okay, so you get a kind of okay, this is gonna sound weird, but it tastes like chocolate flavored cannabis. Kind of what the weed nugs I think would taste like like the ones that the candy nugs, cocoa nugs, but it's good. I usually don't like cannabis flavored anything, but I'm telling you, when it's dipped in chocolate, I guess it's good. Um, each one of these are 500 milligrams, by the way, so I'm taking smaller spoonfuls since I just had my edible thing the other day. But I will be trying out like half a tub at some point, so there's that. This is the strawberry banana. And I should have an assistant that can open these, but it's all just me, guys, remember? All right. Strawberry banana. And also, guys, this has been sitting in my freezer for a couple hours since I got them, and they're still really easy to get stuff out of, so that's a plus. Just throw that there. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I don't know if I even want to go to the other ones. Guys, this is really good ice cream. Like, not even on the medicated level. I mean, I'm sure, because you can still taste a little bit, but this will get you in trouble. Don't eat the whole tub at one time, unless you're trying to have a good time. But mostly banana on this, with a little bit of strawberry. It really honestly tastes like a smoothie, a strawberry banana smoothie. And I'm very, very getting subtle hints of cannabis at the very end. It's just amazing. I almost want to call Smoke and Okie in here to try this out, but this is my podcast. All right, vanilla. It's green. I don't know if you guys can see it. You can see it from there. It's green. So I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a fan of vanilla ice cream because I feel like it's just a flavoring for others. It's not as easy to get out as the other ones. Let's try. This one has no weed smell. Okay. You get a little bit of weed at the beginning and then straight vanilla. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they do it. Usually edibles leave a bad taste in your mouth, but this is the vanilla in my mouth. This keeps getting better. Okay. What else do we have? We have the strawberry. I love strawberry. So none of the others have disappointed. I don't expect this one to, but I'm just throwing out there that strawberries my jam. Strawberry jam. Okay, strawberry. Okay, so out of all the ones that I've tasted, and I've tasted all of them, even though I'm going to retaste the cinnamon one in a minute, this has the biggest cannabis taste, and it's kind of sad. But it's not a, I hate, like, I'm not trying to say this, but it's not, it's, would it make you not want to eat it? It still has a good strawberry taste to it, but this one has the strongest cannabis taste out of the ones I've tried, and which is weird because I thought vanilla would be that way, but no, it's the strawberry. And last but not least, for the second time, cinnamon twist. Now, I think it's a toss-up to me on which one I like better. I'm going to say I almost like the strawberry banana better, almost, but I'm telling you, this stuff right here, this be good in a, oh man, be good to dip your cookies in. I don't know. It just smells like cinnamon toast crunch, and that's exactly what it tastes like. Oh, sorry, hold on. exactly what it tastes like. And guys, I don't even know if I want to finish this episode. I think I might just eat. That's why I can't. That's why sometimes trying these things on air. I'm telling you. So, I want you guys to try them, and I want you to tell me what flavor you like the best. But I'm telling you right now, strawberry banana and cinnamon twist are the two that you just can't live without. So if you're trying to figure it out, and it's smooth and creamy, and like I can't say enough about this. Heartbroken? Forget about Ben and Jerry's. Get you some Canna cream, Canna ice cream, Canna cream. So now that all of our reviews are done, I would, I guess we can get started on, this is already hitting me, guys, and I didn't even take but a few bites. It's a problem for me. Not a problem. It's great for everything else. So without further ado, let's get started with Curtis Ice.
Awesome. All right. Well, welcome everybody to Canna Vibes. Today we have a really special guest, cannabis photographer, Curtis Taylor, also known on Instagram as Curt Ice. So thank you so much for being with us today, or me.
Yeah.
Are you originally from Oklahoma?
Yeah, I am from Oklahoma originally. I was born in Clinton, Oklahoma, which is in western Oklahoma, about an hour west of Oklahoma City. And yeah, I grew up there, graduated from Clinton High School. I went to Southwestern in Weatherford for a year and a half before I dropped out. And then before I moved to Oregon, I was living in Norman I managed restaurants in Norman for like 4 years before I moved here.
Wow. And then now you're in Oregon,
Yes.
taking beautiful pictures. So what is it like being a cannabis photographer?
It's definitely interesting. I didn't necessarily picture this being my everyday job, but it's a lot of editing work typically.
But they come out beautifully. Because I'm from a budding, I'm doing my own social media stuff and I take my own content. And so, I have nowhere near the equipment probably that you do, but
Lots of
I can
equipment.
definitely appreciate how hard it is even the editing or just even getting the right shot. I've had times where I've gone back and been like, oh, come on, why didn't I move the camera a little to the right?
Yes, it's a lot of trial and error for sure. It's just kind of moving the light a little bit this way or that way, and then moving your camera and it's just a lot of and after time it just becomes easier where you kind of know where things should go and how they should look, and you start to develop a style, and your composition starts to develop over time as well. So it's just with anything, you just build your skills over time, and practice is definitely one of the things that makes perfect with photography, especially in the macro realm and things like that.
So you had said that this wasn't something that you had seen yourself doing. So how did you get into this realm of passion?
Well, whenever I was living in Norman, like managing restaurants, I was, making a pretty good living, but I was like, man, I don't know if I can see myself doing this long term. Like, I don't know if I want to work in restaurants till I'm like 50 or 60.
I worked in restaurants. Your soul was dead. Admit it. Admit
it.
Yeah,
Of course. Yeah, I did like management. That was a lot better than working the floor and things like that. So I did enjoy that aspect. But when I was working in that job, I came across Instagram, and like I started using the app, and I started seeing people post like really cool photos around, like people were going around Oklahoma City and taking cool photos. And so I was just like exploring those hashtags, and kind of got into Instagram through that and started taking my own photos with my phone. And back then it was just like super poor quality phone images, because the phone quality was so bad back then. But then I started dating my current fiance, and she had this cool little Nikon camera. It was like a Nikon D60, and I started using that and learning how to use it in manual mode. And once I got more serious with that, I started posting cooler photos to Instagram. And when we ended up moving to Oregon in pursuit of cannabis jobs. You know, like they had just legalized cannabis in Oregon in like 2014 or 15, I think. So we moved here in 2015, and I was just like developing my camera skills, and I would go to the best dispensary around and buy flower and start taking photos of that. And eventually I ended up getting a job there after about a year of living in Oregon. So then I started taking the photos for their social media and just developing my skills more and more, using a better camera. And so it all just kind of played from that.
That's
Honestly,
pretty awesome though.
yeah,
And
it's
it
pretty
shows
cool.
that you have to put in the work. Like everybody starts somewhere. And it's always great to hear like where somebody starts, like just seeing that what sparked your interest in it to begin with really didn't have anything to do with cannabis. And then it just
Yeah,
spiraled into that. And to me, I think that's amazing because a lot of us only see the end result, the 30,000 followers, the really nice pictures, you know what I mean? And so it's really great to be able to see how that started and the step by step on how that got there. So that's pretty awesome.
yeah, thank you. And it's pretty cool, you know, like I definitely owe a lot of my career to Instagram, to be honest, you know, because it's what sparked my interest in learning how to use a camera better to get a better quality shot than just using a phone. So,
How many
yeah.
times have you been locked out of Instagram?
I've only had my account deleted once, but
Not bad.
yeah,
Knock
so
on wood. Knocking on wood for you.
yeah, I'm currently in a shadow ban right now, so that's always a
You
little
know,
bit of annoyance.
I was in one, and the only way I got out of it, because they tell you not to post, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. So I started a follow loop, and I just got like 50 followers in one session, and it just lifted my shadow ban. I don't know how that
Yeah,
played into anything, but I know shadow bans are the worst because you don't know what you did.
yeah, exactly.
And so you don't know how to change it or fix it. And like their biggest thing is, don't use, because I'm a social media manager, and then they're just like, don't use the same hashtags or don't use banned hashtags. And I'm just like, but they're all working, so they must not be banned. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
No,
an
it's
algorithm.
it's it's frustrating. I also do like social media management along with my photography. So
I saw
uh,
that with Green Bodie.
yes, yeah, I work for Green Bodie directly doing like his social media work and then you know, photographing stuff that comes through the farm. So
They're beautiful, amazing plants. They're so
thank you.
pretty.
Yeah, they're
They're so
amazing.
pretty. Okay, so and what's it like being able to go into those like bigger, like just seeing that, like going into the bigger grows and like seeing, I don't know, all the pretty babies you get to take pictures of. I don't know how to explain it, but like what's the feeling of like when you've got into your first like bigger grow to like take a picture of it? Like what was your first exciting experience as a cannabis photographer that you can remember?
I would say, yeah, it was probably like one of the first times going into a room. Like, you know, the first room I went into wasn't like, you know, sizable, but it was, you know, a smaller room. But it was like, you know, very cool to see like really well grown plants. You could tell like had, you know, a lot of attention and like the terpenes were ripe. And even, you know, even if you go into a small veg room, it's just really cool to see like the happy plants in there, you know, the symbiotic relationship. They're just kind of like chilling and like, you know, just
And
putting
to
off.
see the growers fawning over them, like the
Yeah,
way that
yeah,
they look at them like proud fathers or mothers. They're just
yeah,
like,
absolutely.
I love it. So do you plan on, so where were you whenever you found out, or how was your like feeling when you found out? Because you guys moved to Oregon and you have all your stuff going on in Oregon. And then once 788 passed in Oklahoma,
Mhm.
how did that hit you or?
You know, I've thought about, you know, it's crossed my mind to move back and everything like
Yeah.
that. But you know, like you said, we are kind of established here, and my fiance and I both have jobs that we really love, and we honestly just love Oregon itself. It's just a really nice community, and the Portland area is something that we really fell in love with, and you know, I'll always come back and visit and see my family and things. But I think for now, I think we're kind of laying our roots in Oregon.
Well, that's great. I mean, it wouldn't, I think anybody would be lying if they said it didn't cross their mind. Anybody that's moved to Colorado, Oregon since before SQ 788. I mean, there were a lot of us here that were like, oh, wow, this
Yeah,
passed,
I can't believe
so
it.
We definitely can't blame anybody for like having the thought, but I totally get where you're coming from too, because I mean, you guys have roots there, and it's somewhere, you guys have built something. And with the cannabis community, it's becoming more far-reaching. So
Mhm.
just because somebody is stationed in one area, like you live in Oregon, you can still have your connections and, family outside of blood, in other areas. Because I can tell you, this has been the cannabis community that's growing here, and the cannabis community that I've been introduced to, just starting my podcast and things like that. It's a really great vibe. Everybody just wants to learn from everybody. I mean, you do have some people that are the competition and it's getting to them, but other than that, the overall vibe of it is very uplifting and wanting to learn. And you have a lot of people coming in from out of state that
Yeah.
want to say, hey, we have all this experience and we want to help you guys do it. And I think that's amazing. Um, and I'm sure, have you been back since SQ788 passed? I'm sure
I
you have.
haven't.
It's been crazy.
No,
Oh,
I
you
haven't.
haven't?
Uh-uh.
Oh,
I have
it's
not.
so crazy down here.
Yeah, my friends have been sending me a lot of cool photos of like, you know, a lot of, cool concentrates and like good looking flower. And it's just like really cool to see because like, in Oklahoma before it was just so like, I obviously was a big time smoker when I still lived there. And
Yeah.
it was just terrifying to be out and about with weed on you and
Hmm.
stuff.
Well, and even the stigma on it. I mean, even
Yeah.
it's scary about the cops and everything, but now you can drive and not feel like you're gonna go to jail for something ridiculous. But I think that a lot of it's the stigma with people. Like, I think a lot of that is changing. You don't feel so weirded out if somebody finds out that you smoke, or they don't seem
Yeah.
so weirded out. Or because before this, I was a property manager, so it was very enlightening to some people to understand that I've smoked for a while. I'm from Hawaii. I lived in Alaska, so a lot of places I've lived in, it was legal. So when I came here, it wasn't so much.
Mm.
And it's definitely the stigma that I'm super excited to see starting to disappear. I mean, you still got
Oh,
some,
yeah.
but
For sure. No, I think like even within my family, I'm sure there was folks that were like, "What are you going out there to do?" And like, but even now, like as you through my work and like, I try and like destigmatize it as much as I can in my family to make it like a normal thing because that's the way I think it should be. And
yeah.
just like anyone takes any medicine for something, it's just kind of like that for me. And I'm making a successful career being like a pothead and like pursuing what I like doing. And I think that for a lot of people, that's empowering to see that it's not like the typical stigma and that it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be that way. And I think that also a big thing that's changing is like with the legalization of CBD and hemp, like I've had so many family members that I would never would think like would be interested in hearing about that type of thing, but they're like, "Can
Yeah.
you tell me more about this hemp thing or the CBD thing? We see these shops everywhere and stuff back
Isn't it
home."
such an amazing moment whenever they come to you about it and you're like, oh,
Yeah, yeah.
let me break out my book. All right, what do you need to know?
Exactly, yeah. It's like I'm
You've
the
got
go the
you've got
go-to guy.
CVS that's selling them now.
What's that?
CVS is about to sell CBD products in about, I think, 8 of their stores.
Really?
So
That's
it's really exciting to see. I know some people don't like seeing big brands getting into things, and to me, I think in order to break a stigma, you're going to have some big brands jumping into it, and that doesn't mean there's not enough um, work or creativity to go around. I mean, this is a very big industry, so
well with anything, there's going to be places for it in like large markets and then smaller boutique style places as well. So it's unreasonable for people to think that cannabis won't be going into these larger markets like Walmart and other places like that eventually. It's going to be a thing where
Amazon.
it's just, yeah, Amazon, whatever, it's going to be everywhere. And that's
Hmm.
just something that we'll have to accept. But and I'm fine with that as long as these places are sourcing it like cleanly
I
and
get
as
what
long
you're
as
saying.
it's not like very like, trash material going in. You don't want to see mass produced bad material going anywhere. So, yeah, that's my only qualm with it is just as long as people are doing it right.
I agree. I agree with that. Um, Actually, still caring about the person they're giving it to, kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You don't want to be giving out tons and tons of stuff that you wouldn't even be eating yourself because you know what's going in it. Like
Hmm.
organics are important in cannabis, especially when you're ingesting and smoking sometimes. And So it's important.
Well, and now at this rate, people are giving it to their animals, giving it to, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
big. So,
yeah.
yeah, I think I'm excited to see it too. And to be honest, like I haven't really tried a whole lot of the CBD oil. I've done a lot of CBD, like I do, it's like a CBD rub under your eyes for eye cream, and I have some CBD lotion, and I really like it. I haven't really tested the waters with the oil, and I haven't really talked to a lot of people who have. Might be a good thing.
Yeah, me personally, I would, the CBD stuff is the pure CBD stuff. I'm sure works great, but I prefer if I'm going to ingest CBD, I like to do it with THC, like a one to
I'm
one
with you.
or something like that. So, I think the symbiote, the nature or the connection that those two have is pretty symbiotic and important. So,
Absolutely. And I'm a big fan of that. Of course. So question, I just asked this on my Instagram, but so are you more of a sativa, indica, or hybrid person?
um, I prefer hybrids. I like to feel really stoned, or sorry, indicas. I like to feel like very stoned a lot. Like it's
Hmm.
my preferred. I don't necessarily like racy stuff as much. But at the end of the day, like most of the time, I'll just put like a bunch of nugs into one jar, and whatever is whatever. I smoke it, and I just smoke it. I smoke a ton, so I'm not
The
too.
jar of luck.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not very picky, is what I'll say. I'm gonna
I'm with
smoke.
you. That's a little different than what I usually hear because I'm an indica person. I love indicas. And I'm a heavy smoker too. So when I say indica, I mean indica. And I get a lot of sativa people, and I haven't really. I like hybrids too because you get the some sativa a little bit in there, but I haven't really found a sativa that I'm gung ho about. I don't, I'm pretty good with the indicas, but I'm like you too. I will try. I will try anything as long as it looks good, looks like it's been taken care of and well curated and whatnot. But
Yeah,
um,
exactly.
and that's a lot of the problem here right now is you have people that aren't really they don't know what they're looking for, and they're some of these products that are out aren't to par with what we should be giving these
Yeah.
people. So that's a lot of the reason why I did this too, is because I just wanted to be very open about what to expect and things like that.
Yeah, well, can I ask you what the testing is like there? Is there like any regulations on testing, like for mold and mildew, or like what do
They
they test for?
just passed that with the Unity bill, so that won't go into effect until November. So honestly, out of the however many dispensaries there are, I would go ahead and say a good 80% of them do not test. And there's
Oh,
quite a
really?
few where you'll walk in, and because there's only one place right now, I think Scissortail Labs and Fast Labs are the only two that test. And so a lot of them are not being tested right now. Because it's not being, they don't have to,
They don't
but
have to. Yeah.
yeah, come November they will. But they'll, I
So
mean,
whenever you're purchasing bud, it doesn't have like THC content or CBD content on there.
they do. Some of them are like they'll tell you on the sticker how much. Well, some of the bud won't. So if their bud's not tested, you don't know what the THC level is, and some of them will just take it off of weed maps or Leafly, and so
Okay.
you don't know exactly that bud. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Um,
Okay. I
so yeah,
understand.
there's a lot of that.
Yeah, that's definitely got something that's got to improve for sure. But
My biggest thing that I was excited about, honestly, was that they had passed where you need a food permit because you have a lot of these dispensaries that are selling edibles that people are making in their kitchens.
yeah,
And I am all for small businesses, obviously, and I think that you should grow any way that you can. But when you're doing that and there's nobody looking over you, you have people that could be allergic to peanuts, could be allergic to whatever animals in your house. You just never know. And so
yeah,
there's a lot of things in the Unity bill that I did not agree with. But when it came to testing and the edibles and things like that, like I was definitely all for that
yeah, for sure. No, I agree 100%.
because this is a very big world for people who, I mean, you were in Oklahoma and we had just talked about this. Like a lot of people, they were so gung ho about being against it, they didn't learn anything about it. And now there's not a lot of teaching being done. There's a lot of this is the best product, but it's really not. And they're not really explaining what the products do. Like, this is what diamonds, these are dabs, this is wax, this is shatter, this is, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
everybody just seems so confused. And that's the part where I'm looking like the cannabis community is really gathering together and trying to come up with ways to educate everybody
Hmm.
on that. So
Yeah, no, it'll definitely be an uphill battle, but I think it's something you can do through education and communication, and You know, it's a lot of it really goes up to the bartender as well. Like that's where I was actually listening to a piece on NPR. They did a study up and down the West Coast, and they were talking about the where the consumer gets most their trusted information. Like almost half the time comes from the bartender. You know, like that's the person they trust over their doctor, over their friend, over their family. They take the advice from the bartender. So that's where that I think bartender education is a big thing, even when it comes to the farms educating the bartender on how the bud was grown, what was used to grow it, or if it's organic or what
Absolutely.
so
Like what was put in it, because people will ask that question, and I've been in dispensaries and I've asked questions of my own that some of the attitude is just, well, I didn't grow this. Well, you are selling it, so it's
yeah.
you're not, nobody's coming in there to ask you to like catch you up on anything. We're just asking because this is what we're ingesting. We're putting this into our body. When I buy something from the store, it tells me what the ingredients are on the back. So since this doesn't have that sticker, I'm just asking. And there's a
Yeah.
lot that are, there's a few that are very, very welcoming. They will tell you anything. They're not trying to sell you the top shelf. They're just trying to tell you what each will do for you. You should, if you can't sleep, maybe you should try this one, things like that.
Hmm.
But a majority right now, I think that's where the focus needs to be, is honestly, like you said, a lot of the education, and specifically the education for the bud tenders. And because a lot of it was looked at like, this is a glamorous job to have now, I want that job, but you have to learn so you can be productive to people that are coming in, because these are patients. It's not all about fun. So,
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, and um, I think that's something that grows there, and farms will start to learn as they get further into it. Like being, and even dispensaries, that's a marketing point if a farm's organic and you can sell it on the aspect of what they're doing, because that's a big thing here in Oregon. Certain dispensaries market their dispensaries for being completely organic or serving like top shelf, like no, they'll be able to tell you everything that the farm's doing. Oh, this is like a no-till grow. They're completely organic. They're certified. It's a something that will start to change, I'm sure.
absolutely. And well, and prices, are prices still pretty low there?
Um, I since I work for a farm, I don't go to the dispensaries a ton, but I
Gotcha.
think they're reasonable. I think the tax here is a little bit high, but it's not like, I don't know.
Gotcha.
There's definitely price points for everyone. Like I think I've seen advertisements driving down the road for $60 ounces,
Hmm.
and then you can probably buy a top shelf ounce for like 300 or 250 if you wanted. So it really just depends.
Here, I think I've seen top shelf ounces anywhere from 360 to 500.
Oh yeah, that's great. That's pretty high at 500, but I mean,
It's all, I think it's starting to level out. Of course, at first the dispensaries had the upper hand because the growers, it was all very depending on when permits were released and when people could start growing and how fast they pushed out the plant and whether they took good care of it, blah blah blah. So I
mhm.
feel like a lot of the growers that took their time, bigger batches, bigger harvests, things like that. They're starting to come out now with more products, so the dispensary price points are lowering. But at first, I mean, it was hard to find a gram under 25, 20.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it'll start to level out for sure then, because you can definitely find pretty cheap stuff here.
Yeah. Well,
But
and then we had to fight the whole, I don't know if you've heard anything about it either, but you've had people bringing products in from other states.
yeah,
Weren't
I
selling
wondered
as well.
about
So
that
hard.
because without any regulation, the laws in Oklahoma seem written very loosely. And it seemed like there was flower within the state like faster than a crop could have been produced
Hmm.
legally. So I wondered if it was like a lot of out of state stuff coming in, and I mean, I figured a lot of people would move in state from Colorado and
That
other
happened.
places, probably Oregon as well, because here we're experiencing way too many licenses being approved. The market is essentially flooded,
Hmm.
and there's more cannabis than any individual could smoke. So
I
it's
think
that,
it said you guys had enough cannabis in your state right now to last 6 years.
yeah, for sure. It's crazy.
And that's if you didn't grow any more or harvest any that are growing right now. So,
Yeah. and we're perpetually harvesting. Outdoor crops here are a huge thing. So,
Oh, absolutely.
in the next fall, there'll be another ton. And I don't know how much, but a lot.
Oh
So
yeah. Well, and yeah, and it'll even out here, and it has. I mean, you have the dispensaries that run specials and things like that, and you have the out of staters. They're not quiet about it. They tell you they're from out of state. There's a few dispensaries that have opened from out of staters, and it's not bad. Some of them kind of push their names around a little, but other than that, I think it's growing. And you're right, it was a pretty lax framework, and so the Unity bill came in and kind of cleaned that up, some stuff. Packaging, testing, things like that. So, and what can or can't happen? I mean, there's a lot of things that were very much in the air, like where you could smoke. Could you smoke where you were buying it? Could you know what I mean? It was so much. There
yeah.
was so much that you were just kind of like, I think I'm just going to stay home. I don't know. I don't know. So,
Well, I mean, even here, we're still developing and shaping our laws. It's an ongoing process of how everything's regulated and controlled, and there's only a few places that you can do like community smoking, So they're trying to make that more of a thing, I think, where you can start to have community gathering places to smoke, and
well, I know Alaska is the first state that has now allowed it to where you can smoke where you've bought it. So,
yeah,
all
that's pretty cool.
that is. So, I think it'd be pretty awesome to open like a smoke like a smoke hangout, I guess, like a hookah bar, but it's not
Yeah,
hookah.
just way
And then
better.
have different rooms that everybody can chill in, have like a huge TV in there, lots of snacks everywhere.
Yeah,
It would work out
karaoke
just fine.
machines, it'd be
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. You can like reserve each room for you and your friends so you don't have people in there you don't know. Write
Exactly.
this down, people. Write this down. But so before we go, because I know I don't want to take up too much of your time, but do you have any advice for budding cannabis photographers or in the creative cannabis space on where like how to approach grows or how to approach, hey, did you like because you said when you started you went and bought the product and you were taking pictures on your own. Did you have them at that point reach out to you and say, hey, we kind of like what you're doing? Or did you end up having to reach out to grows and dispensaries and say, hey, this is what I do?
In that instance, I think it was like I was specifically targeting what the dispensary I like the most because it was the one I went into when I moved to Oregon. I was trying to find the best dispensary, and it just so happened to be the grower I'm working for now. He was producing all the flower for that dispensary, and so it was like the first time I had seen like really nice looking bud that had like characteristics and like was trimmed really well and not like trimmed too hard. I don't know. I fell in love with the bud. But I was, anywhere I went, I would buy it and I would take photos. And I was just trying to like get people to notice me because whenever Oregon legalized, I applied to every dispensary in my range, like within like 15 miles. I was
Hmm.
just like applying, and I didn't get a call back from anyone. But the one time I did get a call back was from that dispensary that I was targeting and taking a lot of photos on my own time, purchasing it all on my own money, and just doing it for fun because I enjoyed looking at it. It was something I liked. But um, I guess that would be my biggest advice is just like if you really like something, go for it. Because you could be unhappy working a job or doing whatever like I was, and you can pursue your dreams, and it might take a little while. Like I was working at Whole Foods for a year before I got into cannabis photography in Oregon. So like it took time and it took a lot of like grinding and working to get there, but like, just chase it. And if you're, if people like what you're doing, they'll take notice for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here with me. And we'll definitely be following more of your work. And I'll have his tag somewhere over here. I can never point at the right space. But thanks again. And I really hope to talk to you soon.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. It was a pleasure.
All right. You have a good day.
All right, guys, so there you have it. We just had our interview with Curt, and I hope you guys all enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you would like to sponsor or be on an episode of Canna Vibes, please follow us or get a hold of me. I keep wanting to say us, but it's just me, guys. Canna Vibes OK and Divine Independence. Give me a shout, and I will be more than happy to get in touch with you and talk to you all about it. Other than that, I hope you guys all have a positive vibes kind of day. And remember, positive vibe equals positive tribe.